Hello, my name is J times 2 and I have built a horse timer here. It's not the smallest thing and it's not the most complicated thing either, but it fills my needs and it is really accurate. It is accurate to it measures up to a tenth of a second differences, and it's actually, I think it's nice visible effect too. It's easily to see how much your time is, and it's kind of easy to reset as well, and that is my need. So if you take goes back a little and take a running start, and hopefully can run straight. We run, we run, we run, and we run. There we go. Yeah. So if the clock is running a bit, so as you can see, it's time up here is seconds, and it's 4.12345 seconds. This horse is kind of fast. It's 50 blocks. If you didn't know, I guess you couldn't really know. And the reset is fairly easy. You just press that button, but it takes a while to reset. That's the main problem I have with this redstone contraption. I guess we can wait for it to reset and try another horse. So the clock is reset. I did count there, and I think it takes like 40 seconds. It's really bad, but you know what? It takes like 40 seconds to just walk back here and get a new horse. So I guess that is not really a problem. So let's try this horse and see if there's a difference in time. I think this guy is a bit slower, or damn, this horse is really slow. I can't wait to find out how slow it is. So we have our time here. So let's just running, it runs a bit. So 5.06. Damn it, this horse is slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.9 seconds. Damn horse, you're really bad. You're actually really bad. So I'm not going to do a tutorial on this build, but I'm going to run through the redstone. I'm probably going to build this in my Let's Play world, and then you can see exactly how to build it. So let's take a look at the redstone, shall we? So this trip hook is of course the start, and when it's set off, this redstone dust will give a pulse which runs through here, and into this redstone repeater, which is set on 1 tick. This is set on 3 ticks, so remember that the input to the clock is 4 ticks. Of course, the thing that stops the clock also needs to be 4 ticks, so it's matched out. So the redstone pulse is going through this redstone and into the clock, which starts here. So this is a redstone repeater set to 1 tick, and all these repeaters are set to 1 tick, which make the pulse go through here all the way over here, and it's 9 of them, so that's 0.9 seconds, and all of them is of course run into a redstone lamp, so you can see how, so you can see the clock basically. And then the redstone is coming from here and into this block, and it goes up to here. Notice that it's not into the 9th position, so at this point the clock is all just on 0.8 seconds. Of course, a redstone tick happens every 10th of a second, and a redstone tick is not the same as a game tick, which is 20 per second. So it goes through here and into the repeater set to 2 ticks, and when this goes through this, basically a second has happened, and the redstone goes into here, which activates all of these, which activates all these blocks. And this is, I haven't seen this be done before. So basically what's happening is all these droppers get activated, which put out a snowball into these hoppers, and all of the items will eventually end up in this hopper. Then we have a comparator, which compares some of the items we have in that hopper, which will of course set out the redstone power here. So every cycle 5 more items will be added into this hopper, and it's worked pretty well because every 5 will give a new torch to be lit. Notice that one of the torch or lamps are not it's hidden, because if that receives redstone power, that will also be activated. So it's I guess it's one behind every time. So if this is activated, that will also be activated. as you know, with redstone lamps. And it's only 8 of them, because the 9th requires more than a race of 5 blocks, so I didn't really bother. And you shouldn't bother either, because I don't think a horse is not that slow, so I think no one will take more than 8.9 seconds to run through 50 blocks. So when that is done, basically the clock, or the pulse, goes forward and into the clock again. So that is the clock. So now we need to find out how it stops. So we finish here. This tripwire hook will of course turn this redstone dust on, which goes into this piston, which I think is a bud switch, correct me if I'm wrong, which will of course push this block there. It's not a sticky piston, so it will not retract after a few seconds, but it will land over this torch, which it will give it power, and the power goes through to this redstone dust, which will deactivate this torch, and the signals run through here, and then it pops out under this cable block, so you can just destroy it. And there's the torch. The redstone dust is running under here and into that block, and which will of course activate this torch when that trip hook is activated. So let's just put it back. And when this receives redstone power, all of these will be lit, and all these repeaters will run into these repeaters and pretty much lock them. So if this is powered, it will stay powered, and if it's not powered, even if powers run into it, it will not be powered. So it pretty much stops the clock, and it does that with this repeater here as well. And it also goes out to this thing here, which is also a bud switch, I think, which is a part of the reset system. It pushes the block there, which will stop the clock from being able to run around. And so that is pretty much all for the stopping thing. And then the reset thing is really easy. It just push this button here. That will basically retract this block back to its own original state, which will make the stopping device or these things to be unlocked, which will make the power or the pulse goes through again. But now it will be, but it can't go, the clock can't really go round and round anymore, because there's gonna be a block there because of that power. It's not a sticky piston, so it will not retract, and the clock will basically run into that block and nothing will happen. And the pulse is pretty much gone, so now that is done. Now we need to make all the items from this hopper to run away, basically. So this thing will also will give this thing power and will activate this clock. I don't know if this has a name or not, but basically there's item in this hopper, and it cannot deliver it to that hopper because it's powered with redstone. And when this piston is powered, that block will obviously be pushed out over there, which will lead from the items to go from that hopper to that hopper. And when this receives items, this comparator will obviously detect that and run redstone power into this thing. And after a few seconds, I think like half a second or something, that will push it back into position, and the clock is pretty much done. But when the redstone block is over here, that will obviously activate this redstone dust, which will run into this block and deactivate its torch, which pretty much make this hopper unpowered. We will let it run through items into this chest, and it will empty out, so the system is reset. And the last thing of the reset thing is that thing needs to be reset also, because the clock can't run if that is powered. So basically when the power is up here, the redstone will go through here into this piston, which just pushes the block back, and it's reset. So I guess this is all for this thing. This is not the smallest build, and it's not, I've seen a really cool build with like a really small build, But I want this visual effect that you can easily see how fast your horse is, and not, you know, like open a chest and look, oh, this is 28 items in this chest, it means my horse is 28 fast. I want it to be turned into seconds. And yeah, I'm not sure if this thing takes 2 redstone ticks to push the block over here. I made a test over here to test it out, and I think it's 2 redstone ticks, I'm not sure. So this button is hooked up to this side, and you can see this redstone repeater is set on 2 ticks, and that is set on 1 tick. So this takes 3 ticks, and of course it takes 4 ticks this redstone torch to turn off. So if that is 2 ticks, or wait, as you can see here, if when this receives power, that block will obviously be pushed over there, receive redstone power, and will go into this comparator and into that torch. So in the same time, so if that is 1 tick and that is 1 tick, so if this is 2 ticks, this torch will be turned off exactly the same time as that one. And when I click the button here, it looks like that. It looks like they turn off exactly the same time, which makes me believe that pushing a block with a piston takes 2 redstone ticks and 4 game ticks, basically. So that is all for this clock. Hope you enjoyed it. I think it's pretty cool. I'm kinda new to redstone. I haven't really been playing around with it, so it's a bit bulky. I'm sure you can make it smaller, and I'm sure you can make the reset timer much quicker by just having that thing there. I think it makes it faster with like a few seconds. But and of course, yeah, I forgot the last thing. Every 144 seconds of running time, the clock needs to be reset on another level. So if we have room here, so of course this is gonna empty out those snowballs, and the snowballs is getting put in here. You can actually use whatever item you want that has a stack that can stack up to 16 items. Like you can use ender pearls, and you can use signs, I think, for this to work. So you just take out the snowballs here and you put them back into these droppers, and you should be. It's not that hard. Yeah, it's not perfect. I tried for a really long time to make a system where it's put in when it just it goes into a dropper, which make it, you know, refill itself. But it was so complicated, and it took so much redstone, so I skipped that. It's easier to have it this way. And another thing, you can't have the redstone repeater run into the droppers directly, because that will make them, basically, if the clock is stopped when the redstone pulse is over here, that will, and when that is locked, if that is locked when powered, that will basically mean that these blocks are powered all at the same time, and if this is raised one time, these things will be powered with redstone, you know, when the clock is stopped, which will make these hoppers be receiving redstone power, which will make them not passing through the items to that one, which will make item stack in these things too, which will make which basically makes that the items don't reach this, which is the plan. And that is really bad, because then you don't see how many seconds it took for your horse to run. So that is all for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'm sure I will do more of this stuff. And you should check out my Let's Play series. It's fun. I build stuff, not really like this. I'm going to implement this in my Let's Play series. So if you want a tutorial, check out my Let's Play series. I will eventually do this build in there. I just need to get my items for it. And I do other builds, like I'm building a current tower right now, and I'm just promoting now. So thank you for watching. Bye!